Let me start by asking you, what do you consider to be a good salary? Maybe 100,000, 200,000? Well, I can assure you, an half-decent value bettor can make that type of money. However, it's not going to be enough to be life-changing. And for you guys who want more and who are capable of going and getting it, this video is going to be for you. Let's crack on. Let me just start by saying this video is not going to be about basic stuff such as betting banks, self-control, strategies, betting research, low-level advantage playing, sourcing bets, understanding odds. We've done all this in the past, and if that's what you want, you should go and listen to those videos. First things first, understand your level. I've seen many people lose out in business because they have overrated themselves. In fact, one of my former colleagues made a fortune sports betting, and he lost it all by playing poker. Having an ego, being arrogant, isn't a good thing. If you are making a regular profit from betting, good job. However, you need to be realistic about your understanding. There is nothing wrong with playing in the third league, but in that instance, your next objective is to get into the second league. In short, don't get ahead of yourself, stay humble, work hard, and you're going to reach the next level. Next up is going to be maximising returns. This is where we get to sort out the wheat from the chaff. Basic advantage players tend to struggle when it comes to thinking for themselves. One of the reasons for that is that they are only dependent on software. Working the odds is something different. As you know, in betting, every cent counts to your bottom line, and it's something that you need to learn. With that in mind, let's look at some options. What about rebates? For example, in racing, PMU and totes will often discount volume players. For example, in Hong Kong, they're giving 10% back on the win and place pool on losing tickets over 10,000 Hong Kong dollars. Now that's about 1,000 UK pounds or 1,280 US dollars. If you have a bit of a turnover on sports betting, why not hit up the agents, exchanges for better terms? I mean, the agents, they will often give you 0.1 to 0.2% as a rebate. Lower commission on the exchanges could also work, and you're going to need to contact your VIP accounts manager to try to organize yourself something a little bit better. So negotiate and demand higher odds. Now you don't need to take what's on offer, leave requests for higher odds on both the exchanges and with your broker. In other words, place an order. What about learning to read betting markets, the timing and how to interpret odds movement? This is really important if you're going to take a big step forward, right? You've got to start using software to actually read how the markets are moving. If you need volume, what about iceberging, for example? This means splitting large orders into small bets as not to notify the market. Staying undetected is the key for sure. Now, create higher odds through bet splitting. Let's take a plus minus zero Asian handicap, for example. For the sake of argument, the best odds you can find are 1.95. However, one book is offering 3.5 over the draw, and another is giving £2.8 about the team that you want. Now, if you went on and placed 28.57 of every 100 on the draw, you're going to buy your stake back, if it lands on the draw. And then the other 71.43 over every 100 that you place could go on at the 2.8. Thus, it's going to create a 200 return. Now, you've just taken your odds up to 2 by splitting your bet, so you've gained another 5 cents, right? This is something that I don't see many people doing because they are just using software and they're not really sort of thinking outside the box. And the second example again is imagine a double chance, what we call a plus 0.5, and say the odds are 1.95 again, but by splitting the bet you can get 3.7 over the draw and 4.35 about the other team that you want. If you do those in percentage terms, 3.7 is 27% and the 4.35 23%. The total now is 50%. Again, the odds are 2, so you've created better odds. You've taken the 195 up to 2 just by being a little bit sort of streetwise. Now you can do this in diverse handicaps. If you're doing it like a minus quarter, you've just got to buy it off back, and so it's something that you really need to sort of get into. Yeah. Also within the same platform, different odds. Most of you should already know this because you're going to see it when you're sort of looking through all these odds checking sites. You often see the same bet but different odds. So the perfect example is the minus 0.5 in the outright win. And say on a pinnacle you might see the win at 1.98, but you might see the Asian handicap at 2, the minus 0.5, or it might be the other way around, of course. The reason these odds differ is because they operate 2 pools. In any case, it's often worth a pip or two, so keep your nose close to the odds that are happening in front of you, because you might get a little bit more, and that's what it's all about. And finally in this segment, what about jackpot chasing? Now, these are particularly interesting with rollovers, more money in the pool, sort of carried forward. So the new stakes are not the equivalent of the actual payout. So, for example, if you had a 5 million carryover and 3 million was newly going into the pool, right, and, they were going to retain 33% of the 3 million, right, they'd add 2 million to the original pool. So now you've got 7 million, and 7 million, obviously, if only 3 million is being bet, is advantageous, isn't it? You're almost getting like double your money for free, right? So that's something that you need to take into consideration. So that is maximising returns. So next is stake sizing. Now this shouldn't be confused with betting bank. The latter is for beginners and betting stiffs, they want to be accountants. People who are usually beginning in this business, they'll ask you how much they need to get started. It's a viable question at that stage, but we're going a little bit deeper now. So when you reach a certain level, the question is how much can you get on and how much should you bet? It's really simple. If the perceived advantage is high, you want to get more on. You might even in this instance be willing to take second dips, which is odd slippage, lose 3 points on your second bet. Let's imagine that you wanted to get 20 grand on and you could only get 10 grand on in the first hit, right? You get 10 grand on at 2 and then another 10 grand on at 1.97. It's still going to come out at 1.985, but this is the type of stuff that you've got to understand, and you've got to really understand your stake sizing. Now it's going to obviously depend on your leagues, the sport type, the liquidity. Limits will vary. Nevertheless, 3% on 100k is a lot more than 10% on 10k. So you've got to start thinking, when should you get volume down and when should you avoid it, right? So think it through. Stake sizing is very important. You need to reinvest. Don't be naive or a penny pinching waste of time. Go out, use your cash flow to streamline your business and make it more efficient. To be a big player in this game, you might need things like data services. What about software? You might want to build it in-house, or you might be buying in third-party stuff, right? But it's important. It's going to make your life easier. What about lawyers, to protect yourself? Get a legal opinion, get contracts drawn up, make sure that you've got NDAs in place so people can't take your secrets and run away with them. A structure could open doors into other jurisdictions. And also, you should be thinking really heavily about coaching. Now we do this and we do a fast track understanding to help you sort of get ahead. If you think it's beneficial, you can get in touch, but consultancy, paying for experts, it's normal in this business. Who knows, you might even need a psychologist. Use your time wisely. Now, my biggest beef with the average Joe is they are slow, and I mean really slow. I don't like it at all, and this is why I tend to avoid a lot of people. You've got to be decisive, a decision maker. It's like in any business, but it's especially so in professional sports betting. Learn to delegate, get others to do the menial tasks for you, and always follow through, even if it's to say you're not interested. Anything that will make you more efficient, whether that be bots, account openers, bet places, whatever, just do it. Make yourself super time efficient and everything will be good. Weed out fast and efficiently. With me, it's one strike and you're out. Decide yourself what you're willing to tolerate, but do not take crap from others. Do the proximity test because you are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. Trust in this game is super important. If people around you can't keep secrets, you need to get rid of them. Believe me, I wouldn't even tell the wife if I had something special lined up. You know the way it goes, a wagging tongue is going to cost you the odds. So do not accept also people that expect you to do all the work or take all the risk. These people are frustration pure. You know the type I mean. You start a business, if it goes well, I'll join you. Yeah, they want you to do all the donkey work. They're just basically arrogant shits that need avoiding. Now, also people that are giving bad karma out, if you feel that they don't fit, get rid of them. Beware of life losers. They do bring you down. I would definitely say weeding out is so important, and you need to do it as quickly as possible and get a strong team together. You will need to adapt quickly to the situation. I had a guy contact me last week. He'd run through his betting accounts, doing value betting, and now what? Obviously, he should know the answer. He's got no future in betting if you can't figure that one out. Everything has a lifespan. Without changes, a car's speed will be stuck at the factory settings. It's never going to go any faster. When one door closes, another one opens. And if it doesn't, you need to kick it in, right? That is the business that we are in. We've always got to find solutions. So if you need accounts, find accounts. If you need technology, find technology. And the same goes for anything in betting related, i.e. it is your job to stay ahead of the game. Education and development is a no-brainer. You might have heard that saying, the bigger the problem you solve, the more money you will make. This is particularly true to sports betting. Doing what everyone else is doing is simply not enough. So I would suggest that you start combining other aspects of sports betting and try to bring them in to your daily scene. So maybe learn to become an originator. But one thing is certain, you need to develop a sustainable system. Make time for learning and you're not going to be far off the pace. Opportunity knocks. The world is your oyster, and you need to think outside the box and how you can take advantage. If the opportunity is somewhere else, move or get a representative, preferably somebody who you know. Well, I can't share everything on this channel. Take it from me, anything is possible. At the end of the day, money talks. The more you have, the easier it becomes to take control. One thing I would definitely suggest is that you need friends in this business. And on that note, think about networking, because you're going to need help. Life is a value exchange. The more that you can give, the more that you can get in return. Look after others, build trust and loyalty. Mini partnerships are a great way forward. And on that note, you should be looking at our other networking video, what I'm just pointing out at the moment. In concluding, be proactive. Work on your understanding. If you got something from this video, give us a like, subscribe. You can even leave a comment if you think you've got something positive to say. If you want to join the mentorship program, check it out on our website. For now, you're through to boot camp. We'll see you in the next one soon. Take care. Bye-bye.